Hello, I'm Ryan Mulholland and welcome to Talk of the Town, the show where we talk to your government leaders in the town of North Hempstead. Today we are pleased to be joined by the Town Clerk of the town of North Hempstead, Wayne Wink. Wayne, thank you so much for being here today.
Not at all, my pleasure. Good to see you.
Good. So Wayne, tell me a little bit about your career in public service, if you can, some of the positions that you've held.
Well, I started over 20 years ago. Thankfully, I was 8 years old when I started in this business, but I started off as an aide to the town board in the town of North Hempstead. I worked for a councilwoman, Barbara Johnson, and I also did some work for then Supervisor Ben Zwern. After 4 years of serving as an aide to the town board while I was also attending law school, I worked with then legislator Barbara Johnson. We got her elected to the county legislature, and I became an aide to the legislature, her chief of staff. And when I graduated law school, I became deputy counsel to the Democrats on the county legislature. After Barbara passed away, unfortunately, I left and went to private sector, and a year or so later, I was given the opportunity to run for the town board in North Hempstead. So I was elected to the town board then. I served on the town board in North Hempstead, first in an at-large position for a couple years, and then we ran in what we have now, the councilmanic district system. So I had the good fortune of representing the 4th district, which was Roslyn Estates, most of Manhasset, and about 60% of Great Neck. And I served in that capacity for another almost 3.5 years, until an opportunity arose for me to succeed then State Senator Craig Johnson, who had left the county legislature. So I ran the special election in March of '07 for the county legislature, and served from March of '07 until December 31st of 2013. And in 2013, when redistricting carved up my district among several other legislators, I was given the opportunity to run for the position of town clerk. And I am now nearing the end of my first year in that capacity, and it's been a tremendous experience, and I am happy to be back in town hall.
So what made you want to run for public office or get involved in public service, to begin with? Is there an interesting story or? Well,
what's funny is, I became kind of aware of politics and government in high school. But I really wasn't involved. My parents were never involved in politics or local government or anything. It really just kind of came out of left field. I got active in politics and in government during college. And after that, the rest is kind of history. I became an aide to the town board before I started law school, and then went to law school while I was working for the town board.
Right. So you mentioned that you're finishing up your first year as town clerk. Right. How long is your term?
I have a 4-year term, so I have 3 more years on my term, which is great because every day I'm experiencing new things, and I really enjoy the opportunity to learn all the many different facets of the position of town clerk. And I look forward to the next 3 years in that capacity.
Which leads into my next question, because, what are those facets? People probably wondering, they know some of marriage licenses, things like that, but there's so many hats that you wear. Maybe you can let us know about some of those.
Sure. I wear a number of different hats. In fact, first and perhaps foremost, when people come to town board meetings, they see that I am the clerk of the town board. So I organize the agenda. I handle the meetings in terms of collecting the cards from the people who want to speak, timing those people, calling the items, calling the votes on those items, and then maintaining the minutes and all the records that the town board requires as a result of those meetings. So that's kind of the first thing I do. The second thing is, as the records management officer of the town, I am responsible for every document that has ever been generated by the town, really. Everything from the building department permits that were issued yesterday to the Dongan patent, which was the very foundation of the creation of North Hempstead back in the 1600s. Everything in between may not be in my possession, but I am responsible for maintaining those records and for providing access to those records. So that obviously is a big part of my job in ensuring that the records of the town are available and accessible for the public. On top of that, I'm also the registrar of vital statistics for the town, which means that I'm responsible for birth certificates, marriage licenses, and unfortunately death certificates as well. So far this year, in less than a year, we've issued now about 5,600 birth certificates. We've issued over 800 marriage licenses, and I personally, as a marriage officer, have conducted about 150 weddings.
Wow.
this year. So many of the people who come in for our licenses will then try to schedule so that we can take care of the actual ceremony. The death certificates, we're about 1,900 right now. So thankfully, we have a lot more birth certificates and death certificates in this town,
Excellent.
which is a good sign. But in addition to all those things, I'm also the person responsible for all sorts of licenses and permits in the town, whether it be if you want to operate a taxi or a tow truck in the town of North Hempstead, or a limousine, if you want to film a TV show or a movie or anything of that nature, my office issues those permits, and pretty much everything in between. We deal with everything from underground tanks to waterways and moorings and things like that. There's a lot of different aspects to my job that always keep me on my toes each and every day.
Right, and you touched on the filming and the filming permits, and I know that it's really become a booming industry here in the town of North Hempstead over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And there was recently a film that was even filmed at Town Hall.
Yep.
So maybe you could talk about that and why North Hempstead has become such a desirable place to film.
Right. Well, our town code has provisions for the right to film. As I say, either still photography, TV, video, movies, you name it, within the town of North Hempstead, and within all the unincorporated areas and within the parks and everything else that the town controls. Mine is the office that issues permits for many of those locations. We have seen a major uptick in the interest and the ability for the film industry to film right here in North Hempstead. In some measure because New York State has become much more competitive with California and some of the other states throughout the country in terms of tax credits and incentives for production companies to come and film here. And in addition to that, I think that we are only now beginning to tap the resources that the town of North Hempstead has available. We have doubled for other parts of the country. We can double for your typical downtown neighborhood. We can double for the Gold Coast of not only North Hempstead, but throughout Long Island. We can also double for the Hamptons. And many of the film companies, in fact, come to us because we're within 20 miles of New York City, so it's an easy trip for them. They don't have to go the extra 80 miles to get to Montauk or to the Hamptons. And we know that, we experienced firsthand when we had a filming in Town Hall, how tumultuous and how much of an uproar a film production can cause over a period of days or even just hours sometimes within a neighborhood. So we're pretty sensitive to that, and we go out of our way each and every day to ensure that we're minimizing the negative aspects of it, the impact on the community, while at the same time providing a great backdrop that we can not only be proud of because it's our own backyards, while at the same time bringing in new revenues for the town. And I think as we go forward, we're going to perfect this process, and I think we're going to be a mecca for Hollywood East to come locate here in North Hempstead and do a lot of filming in our beautiful downtowns, our great residential areas, and our wonderful shoreline.
Right. That's exciting. That's really exciting initiative and everything. As far as some other duties of the town clerk's office, I know that you guys hold a lot of different public events throughout the year, whether it be the 9/11 Memorial Ceremony, the Women's Roll of Honor. Maybe you can talk about some of those and why they're important.
Sure. This being my first year, it's been quite an experience to get up and running on a number of these different programs. The first one we did was on Valentine's Day. We have a program where we renew vows for literally close to 100 couples who have been married for, in some cases, as long as 60, almost 70 years. Wow. Which is really a wonderful thing. For somebody like me who's about to celebrate my 12th anniversary, and I know what it takes to get that far in a marriage, I can only imagine what it takes to last 60, 70 years in some cases. But these wonderful couples come and they renew their vows on Valentine's Day with us, and we have a luncheon. It's been a wonderful thing for in my experience so far. So that's usually the first thing we do in the year. And then shortly after that, in March, is Women's History Month. And the clerk's office is responsible for the Women's Roll of Honor. So we have a procedure by which we have a secret panel, because we don't want them getting lobbied by everyone in creation. We have a secret panel that meets to consider the applications of any number of women throughout the town to be enrolled in the Women's Roll of Honor. After they make their determinations, We have a great breakfast. We bring in some guest speakers. We have a really wonderful opportunity to honor some of the really outstanding women that we have in the town of North Hempstead. And now this is, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that we're almost 20 years into this, and there's no shortage of quality, qualified, and absolutely outstanding women to honor each and every year. And we have to, unfortunately, turn some away each and every year because we just don't have the room or the time to be able to honor everybody who's worthy of it. But there's always next year. Right. So that we have coming up as well. And then later on in the year, we do have the 9/11 Memorial, which is the most solemn occasion that we have all year, where we remember the 56 victims of 9/11 that came right here from the town of North Hempstead. And it really has been just a tremendous experience to bring together not only the survivors and the families of the victims, but also veterans and firefighters and everyone who had a personal experience with it. I myself was first running for the North Hempstead Town Board the year that September 11th occurred, and it really profoundly touched me. In fact, this flag was actually purchased by me shortly after 9/11, and I pretty much try to wear a flag each and every day, not so much as a proof of my patriotism, or so many people debate whether you should or shouldn't be wearing the flag. I think it's really just a personal decision, but 9/11 had a profound impact on me, and that's why I remember it each and every day with this flag. So it really, that ceremony, it's sometimes the toughest to get through all year because it's so moving, it's so emotional, and it's still very fresh for so many people, even 13 years later. But at the same time, it serves as a reminder to us that we need to be vigilant and that we need to remember those who made the sacrifice, just by going to work or just by going to school in some cases.
Right.
And it really, that's a very moving ceremony for us. And we have so many other things we get to do. We get to do Kids Day. We get to do Fun Day Monday every year. We not only have a health fair that we attend and help participate in, but there are just so many big and small events that the clerk's office is intimately involved with that I've really thoroughly enjoyed being involved with myself.
Right. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So as far as you said, you've been in office for almost a year now.
Right.
So maybe enough time, I guess, to kind of see what's going on and try to see so maybe some new measures that can be put in, or make things run more efficiently. Maybe you can kind of touch on that.
Well, due to circumstances like retirements and things of that nature, we are operating with a smaller staff than we've had in the past, and we're doing it very efficiently, very effectively. I am very fortunate to have an outstanding staff, not only of my two deputies who do an outstanding job, but everybody, from the interns that we've had, through the clerks and everyone else in my office. They are very, very good at what they do, and I spend more time trying to get out of their way to let them do their job than trying to meddle in what they do. But certainly this last year has been a learning experience for me. As I touched upon so many of the different areas of the clerk's office, each and every one of them has had a learning curve associated with it for me. What I've been able to do so far is make sure that we're able to do more with less, and that we explore every opportunity to expand not only the services that we can provide, but the revenues that come with that. And the filming is very much one of them. We have streamlined the process, and we continue to work each and every day to make it the most effective and efficient way of being able to raise revenue for the town without having to go to the taxpayers. And I look forward to more and more opportunities as we go forward in the next 3 years to come up with even better ways of providing great service at the lowest cost possible.
Right. So you've talked about a lot of the different initiatives that you've put in throughout your career, the different places that you've been. What's your favorite part about public service, though? I mean, what really, makes you tick as far as, makes you want to get up every day and serve the people of North Hempstead?
Well, it's definitely the personal interaction that you can have with people in the community each and every day. My office abuts the receiver of taxes office, and Charlie Berman and I are good friends. And what I've noticed is, we are the two offices that, without any notice, people come in constantly. They're either coming in to check their tax bill or to pay their tax bill, or they're coming in to get their dog license, something else that we do in my office, or to get a hunting license, something else we do in the office. You know, there are so many different reasons why they'll come in to see, to visit my office to get something done. And in the process, you get to talk to a lot of people, you get to interact with them. I'm given the opportunity to go into people's homes, whether it be through North Hempstead Television or through direct mail that we do on behalf of the town. And I'm given the opportunity to go into people's, whether it be a senior center or other community groups. And that kind of interaction, I think, is really the most vital part of my job, and certainly, I think, the most enjoyable. You can always call 311, and 311 will connect you up to the right people in my office. And if it's a question they can't answer, they'll probably get to me with it, and we'll make sure that any questions, any information you need are available as soon as possible right away. And so we have that opportunity through 311. And you can always shoot me an email at winkw@northhempsteadny.gov, or the general email for the town, and we will get it, and we will make sure that we get answers.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I learned a lot. I think all the viewers and all the residents of the town of North Hempstead learned a lot as well.
Thank you very much, Ryan. It's always a pleasure.
We appreciate it.
Thanks.
So thank you for watching Talk of the Town. As always, to find out more about your local elected officials or what is going on around town, log on to the town's official Facebook and Twitter pages. So see you again next time as we talk to another one of your government leaders in the town of North Hempstead. Have a great day.